Free thinkers, after 40 years of being married, I hear people say that when they get married, nothing is going to change. Everything is, they don't want nothing to change. But actually, when you get married, everything changes because you're no longer single. You're now supposed to be committed to a person, or you're supposed to be committed to each other. So you're no longer single. You are married. So now you have a partner that you two are supposed to be one in everything, right? So I see a lot of people get married and they still want to be in the clubs with the single girlfriends or with their male friends. Um, there are things that you're gonna have to set aside because I see that you still think your boys are gonna go hang out in the clubs. You're now married, and and women with their single friends. You're now married. Your relationship does not now include them, it excludes them because now you are married. So people, before you get married, understand what you're going into. So down the line, you don't people start don't start saying, well, you know what we were going to get into, and I thought we were going to figure it out. Marriage is not something to figure out. Marriage comes with structure, responsibility, and things that have to be done as a couple. People still want to say, well, I'm married, but I'm going to go hang out with my single friends. No, it doesn't work like that. Now, you have to want this for it to work, right? Um, I see people that are married and their wives still dress provocative, not understanding the danger that they're putting themselves into as a married woman. I know people are going to say to me, well, you still should be able to dress the way you want to. No, you don't. Okay? This is the part where you grow up now, right? Because you have responsibilities. You don't want to be out with your children and you're dressing provocative and somebody says something stupid to you and you're responding to them and your children are now in danger because this is a decision that you decide to make on your own, right? Um, you're still out there dressing for attention when your attention should come from your husband, right? If you're still seeking attention, you're still seeking these things, these validation from the outside world, then what is the purpose of your husband? To come home and tell you look beautiful, you look great. I love how you dress. Okay? And same thing for some husbands that still think that you're supposed to be out there dressing certain ways, to be around their boys. You have to think about who you're coming home to and who you're representing. Because if you put yourself out there as that you're single, you're going to see women coming around you thinking that you're single, right? So we have to make sure that when we get married, we know what we're talking about and what structure has to be in place. You know, certain things are no longer viable that you were doing before you got married. That's no longer there. So don't get married and say, "Well, I thought we were going to still do what we do. What we do, we weren't going to change." You have to change. It's called maturity, right? And that's what marriage is. I hear people say they got married and then they're bored. Bored of what? It's the responsibility that you take up, okay? Or they don't feel the spark. Think about a corporation that you order some product from and you don't like how the product works, so you let them know you don't like how the product works and you're telling them why the product don't work. You think to please you, they're not going to change the product that they send to you because they want you as a customer, right? They're going to change what the complaints about. We, on the other hand, feel that when your spouse tell you something about what you're doing, you shouldn't change it or you shouldn't force me to change. But understand who's asking you that, right? It's your partner, the one that has your best interest. People only use the word, say, well, you're not secure in who you are. This have nothing to do with secure who I am or who that person is. It's about what's proper, what's respectable. People are going to say, well, what's respectable to me may not be respectable to you. What respectable to me is what respectable is. People say while they were married, they were suffocated and they didn't get to do what they wanted to do. But then I see them get divorced and they're in clubs. That's what you wanted to do? The thing about marriage is to come home to somebody who has been out there 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, to provide for you on both sides, to provide for you. And you don't take it that serious because you feel that more attention is supposed to be put on you. Because the person on the outside, the only attention they're showing is while you're laying down. But the responsibility, they don't want that responsibility. And you can get anybody to lay down with you, because you get anybody to take up the responsibility. So people, before you get married, know why you're getting married. Set your boundaries, your goals, and make sure that you guys follow through with it. You should also make sure that when you're getting married, your vows are being taken seriously. And I don't mean none of those little stupid vows that I hear people talk about. I promise to go to the same game with you, wear the same T-shirt with you, and watch the same movies with you. I mean real vows to God of why you're doing this. Okay? And keep your commitment. Just because you don't like how somebody spoke to you Monday, don't mean you divorce them Tuesday. The person may be having a bad day, bad month, bad year. But it's not for you to give up on your marriage, because if you have kids involved, the only person better to raise your children is you and the other parent. I hear people say, after we got married, a lot of stuff changed. A lot of stuff is going to change. A lot of stuff is going to change. And change is good. Change is good. Because then within the change, you could create a positive influence on everybody else outside of you. Hell, you may even get people that are single to get married based on how they see you. But to have single people in your circle that's telling you that's why they didn't get married, because that's why they don't because they don't want a type of responsibility, or they don't want nobody telling them anything. But those single people, if they had to switch with you, would be get married. They just didn't find anybody to do what the person that you're with has done for them. Be careful about when you're courting somebody up to leading to getting married. These things should be already spoken about, worked out, and agreed upon before you get married. So once you get married, you don't hear that this is not what I signed up for and I'm out of here. Marriage shouldn't be a short-term deal. Or because you feel that this other person is not giving you what you want. That's what counseling is for. But a lot of people would rather watch their children suffer from having two parents in the household than to go make themselves happy. You have to decide before you get married what you're getting married for. Because this is not something that should be taken lightly, that because you don't feel, what's the words I'm looking for? You don't feel the attention, that you're going to go seek it someplace else. Put boundaries in your marriage. Put respect in your marriage. And watch it grow. Because if you don't put boundaries in your marriage, then when those bounds are crossed, you can't say, what are you doing? Those boundaries was never put in place. So to young people that are looking forward to get married, I say this to you guys: don't get married because it's a good feeling. Get married because it's the right thing to do. Not a feeling. It is the right thing to do. Don't let people tell you that because their parents did it and they see how their parents did, they're not going to do it. You don't know what your mother and your father had to sacrifice to make sure that you have the things in your life for you now to say that you're not going to try it. So people, young people, if you're going to get married, you must set boundaries. Write out a list of things that you will not tolerate and things that you shouldn't tolerate, and make sure that your partner agrees with it before you go to the altar. Don't wait till after the altar, then you're trying to set boundaries because you never put it in place before your marriage. Thank you, everyone.